And we're back again for another Milk Crate Moments podcast. And today my guest is Brenda Bryan, and by Bryan, right? Brenda Bryan.
Brian, yeah.
I really love alliterations, right? That Brenda Bryan, and I mess it up every time. So today we're here with Brenda Bryan, who is a transformational coach and a speaker coach. And we're going to get to all of that. But Brenda, the way I like to start every podcast is, what was your milk crate moment?
Well, as an entrepreneur, I had many, but the one that I'm going to share today is I moved to Portland, Oregon in 2012, and I was about 6 years into building a new business, a brand new town, a brand new community, a brand new everything. And I'd started a project called the Raise Your Voice Transformational Mastermind. And I had a bunch of people in there. So I was like, oh, I'm on my way. Everything's going to go. And a month into delivering that program, everybody had some kind of major life catastrophe. I mean, their business got closed on them. They had to go declare bankruptcy. They lost their job, medical issues. I mean, it was just a kind of a moment in time when everybody's life seemed to be falling apart. And of course, then mine fell apart with it because all of the people that I was expecting to have clients and have an income with fell away. So I was totally in shock. I was totally lost as to what would I do next. And I was scared because, when you lose all your income and you've worked really hard over a period of time building up that relationships to those clients, and then they're gone, it's like, what the is happening here? So I stood in my dining room and I basically said, okay, Spirit, you're the one that's guiding this ship. And you have laid a path before me many times before. So something it wants to happen here, and I have no idea what it is. So I'm asking you straight up, plain and clear, show me the way in a way that I'll understand.
Brenda, I listen, it gives me goosebumps to hear that because it was November 5th, 2013. And I was sitting at my desk having an out loud conversation with God because my business wasn't going the way I thought it, or as fast as I thought it should go. And I literally said, okay, God, if I'm not on the path that I'm supposed to be on, I need you to, and I'm talking out loud, right? I am crying, I'm sobbing. Um, and I said, just show me where I need a sign. I need a sign that if I'm on the right path or not. And I actually said this, and God, I don't understand symbolism. So you got to make it like any moron could figure this out. Right. So, Brenda, 6 hours later, I got a text from a company out of Virginia that said, Jean, we'd like you to come and be our franchise speaker for, we'd like you to come and speak to our franchisees in Virginia next year. Not like, how much do you charge? What do you do? What do you talk about? They literally, like, that was a sign that I could not misinterpret.
Yeah, exactly.
What was your sign?
My sign I'm a fierce networker. I go out to a lot of networking things. So I went out to one of my beloved networking groups called Power. And there's about 60 women in the room. And about half of them are saying, I really don't like public speaking and I don't know how to do this introduction. And I'm standing there going, damn, I can help them with that. And so that was the sign. It was very clear. And so I then built the Raise Your Voice Speakers Club because Raise Your Voice still enters into the picture for me. Women being empowered, women showing up, women using their voice, women doing their thing, right? And then to see that these women are like all scared, and I understand the fear for sure. But I knew that after winning awards with Toastmasters and being having done a lot of public speaking over the years that I could actually help them. And so that's what I do today. I'm a speakers coach and I'm more and more enjoying it and more recognizing the need for this skill to help others recognize what their genius is and how to express it in a way that others will hear them and show and know, like, and trust them. And that's the point of us showing up in our work, right? Is that our clients need to trust us. But for that to happen, we need to be authentic. when we need to be vulnerable, and we need to tell the right story to the clients, to our ideal clients. What do they need to hear from us that will help them understand that we know the pain they're in and the journey they're on, and how can we support them to get out of that? That is fantastic work.
I could not have said that better. So, so yay, that's exactly what it is. So let's go back to the milk crate moment for just a moment.
Yeah.
When once you got through your milk crate moment, what advice would you give to another entrepreneur who's going through that now, who's really in that place in their business? Because I'm sure that that all did not happen for you in that 2 minutes or 3 minutes it took you to tell this story, right? I'm sure that this was a 3 or 4, maybe a day, a week, a month journey that you had to go through to work through that. What would you tell an entrepreneur who's going through that piece right now?
Well, it is a journey, and there's no quick solutions to when issues show up, challenges show up. So, first of all, I would say stay strong in your vision of who you want to be.
Mhm.
That's the most important thing, and know that in that vision that you're going to have to pivot from time to time. That because you have this, that you're setting out to the universe this idea, the idea will come back in ways that you're not expecting. I wasn't expecting to be a speaker's coach. That was not on my radar, but yet people really like what I do as a speaker, and so it was kind of totally my blind side. And so often we don't accept that we have gifts that are inherently easy for us to work with, but we deny them because, oh, our paradigm, our story is it has to be hard. No, we can do it differently, and that doing it differently means listening to our intuition, taking actions where we can, and staying with it, because there's no quick way out to being successful at your job. You have to stand for it every day. You have to follow your joy around it every day. You have to work that joy every day, and you have to stand for who you want to be in the midst of the challenges and the what seems to be hard. You have to bring joy to that heart and say, this is the muscle I'm building in order for my success to happen. And boys, oh boys, I know what that looks like. And I'm sure you do too, Jean.
Oh my goodness, right? I've been an entrepreneur for 38 years. I
Yep.
have had a multitude, and we're probably talking thousands of milk crate moments in those 32 years that made me, but you know what? I never had a plan B. A plan B would to me would might look like getting a job. I never had a plan B because once I discovered entrepreneurship, I knew I was not going back to a job that could control my time, could tell me when I could and could not be with my children, would tell me when and when I could not go on vacation. No, I wasn't interested in that at all anymore. My time is
Well, and a plan B is an escape hatch, and that means you're not fully committed. And if you're not fully committed, the universe hears that, sees that, knows that, and so can't support that. So if you're kind of like it's not happening. Well, this is what it looks like on the road to getting there, is that you have to keep applying yourself to what it is you want to happen and celebrate the successes, and you have to really find them. Sometimes it's like putting your feet on the ground and actually standing up for the day. That's a celebration some days,
it
right? so
is.
so we have to learn to be in gratitude from the place of everything that is happening for me is for my highest good. And how do I utilize what's happening in a way that lets me keep using my curiosity and my creativity, because that's where our imaginations and our visualizing and our feeling qualities that support this is a passionate project that I want to make sure I stay tapped into, because I don't want to do whole, stuff that I don't like. There's a lot of things I do as an entrepreneur that aren't my wheelhouse, which
Right.
is why I work to hire people that's their genius. Let them make that happen so that I can work more successfully in where I really shine, and where I can really be a person of increase for my clients. And so we have to recognize that when we first start out, we won't have that budget. that doesn't mean we can't trade, or we can't make options happen, or we can't recognize that as soon as we can, this is where I need to place some money in order for me to be really in the strength of making that $120 an hour, or that $3,000 an hour, whatever it is your wheelhouse is, right? There's no cap to that from the universal side of things, but we cap ourselves constantly. And so how can we stand in the vision and generate from that vision, and then act from that vision? And that takes a lot of rigor.
It does. It takes a lot of, what's it called? Chutzpah?
Chutzpah, with yeah.
Moxie? What do you want to call it today, right?
All of the above, right?
Exactly. So that is, and I agree 100%, is if you have, I've heard so many people say that when they've come to me and said, well, if this doesn't work out, then I'm going to have to get a job. The fact that you're even talking about a job, right? Or that is of course it's not going to work out for you, right? You've already decided that this is not what you're supposed to do. So I will talk to people about that. I'm not sure I take on clients who tell me that they will get a job if this doesn't work out, right?
Yeah, that's them already setting an outcome
Yeah.
without them consciously recognizing that they're doing that. And that is the point of consciousness, and the point of awareness is to listen to the stories we're telling ourselves, and challenge ourselves as to, what is that story, and who told it to me, and why am I repeating it to myself?
Exactly. Well,
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
let's talk about the fact that you told me you have something coming up shortly. What is that?
Well, I have a quick connect pitch coming up, so that helps women actually hone in on their genius, have some fun creating some vocabulary and a story that is uniquely about them and for them, so that they can start to shine a little bit differently. Because it's a crowded place in the marketplace. So how do you value your uniqueness, and how can you express that uniqueness when doing a 30-second pitch? But there's a way for it, there's a formula, but mostly it's about having fun and stepping into the quality of who you want to be. And I have some really unique exercises that I do during that 4-hour workshop that brings out a whole different side of what you're not talking about, how you're not showing up. It's not about your credentials, it's about whether you're connecting, and connecting equals currency.
Ah, I love it. Did you write that down? Connection equals currency, right? Connection equals currency. I love that, Brenda. Listen, I think what we're going to do is we're going to pop that up here. Here is Brenda's, and listen, I think I'm gonna take that, Brenda, and let me show that. I'm gonna edit that for, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna copy that, copy it, and I think I can put it in the chat right here, and then we can share it.
Yeah.
All right, so let me put that in the chat in the room. I believe I can do that. There we
Um,
go. Let's make sure that it's there.
That's my Calendly link, which is great, because if they want to know more, they can just set an appointment. The quick connect is on the 31st, and that the free offer is a 30-minute consultation that will help you identify what you need to do next, and set out a plan to support you in succeeding in the ways that your heart wants. And so use that free consultation. It'll be a fun conversation. It'll be a way to kind of identify places that you're not showing up for yourself, and a plan to go forward that will help you do that.
Well, you heard it here, right? If you want to have a conversation with Miss Brenda Bryan, just, I put it in the chat. You can book a call with her. That's her Calendly link. Brenda, thank you so much for being
You're
here
welcome.
today. I'm so grateful that you were here. And one last question.
Mm.
What is one piece of advice you have for all entrepreneurs? What's your favorite piece of business advice?
I think that you have to follow your heart.
Hmm. We haven't had anybody say that yet, so I love that. All right, guys, have a great day. Thank you for watching another episode or listening to another episode of Milk Crate Mom.